Hey everybody, what's going on? Eric here. Yes, I did shave. And yes, this is an Ibanez ART 800 with the textured top. And I've been wanting to ask CJC Guitars how his has been holding up. He won one of these off of me a while back and in a contest that I had. And I kind of like this thing. The texture that's on it does not get in the way of playing, so it's still quite comfortable. And this bridge that's on here, I really like the way this bridge is as far as how it feels. It's nice and round and nothing digs in your hand. It's just very comfortable. Also easy to change out the strings because the um, tailpiece is notched, so the strings just drop in instead of having to pull them out. But it's not about this. This video is not about this guitar. As you saw in the last video, I ended up making a video with the Dead Man, uh, basically doing some practicing. And what I was practicing was Peace Dog by The Cult. Now, I only got so far with it because I'm just starting to practice a little bit with it because of the fact of these damn tabs. All right. And I switched to this guitar because I do have the Dead Man up on eBay right now. I don't want it to scratch it up or dent it, ding it, or anything else. You know, it's still somewhat new. And plus, I wanted to kind of check it out because I haven't been playing. It's been sitting for a while. Uh, See how far out of tune it got. Now, I did stretch the strings out when I set it up, and surprisingly, the usually when all of your strings go out of tune, that's kind of like a sign that the change of humidity, temperature, whatever, the neck is doing its thing. All right, only like one string was out of whack on that thing, and it's one of the strings that I don't normally do too much with. As far as playing, it's usually the high E string. It was kind of a little bit off, not by much at all, and I was very surprised as how it still was in tune after sitting for so long. Now, that guitar, like I said, is up on eBay, and Edina asked me about um, how does that the bullet fret markers feel under your fingers. I don't feel them. Don't feel them at all. The way I did that, as far as the inlays go on there, I ended up sanding them down with a block, going with the radius of the neck to keep that radius and flattening them out so you wouldn't feel them. And I didn't polish the tops of them. I just took a 1500 grit sandpaper and 2000 grit sandpaper to kind of take the fogginess out of the glaze coating that I epoxied them in with, so you could see them. And if I would have shined them up or polished them up like I did with the rest of the guitar, it probably would be like a little sticky, while you're playing it, because you know how a shiny coating kind of like grabs your skin a little bit, shit like that. So no, they don't. I don't feel them at all. They're actually very, very flush with the neck. They do not stick up at all, and what can I say? It works. But getting off track of what I'm talking about here. All right, the Peace Dog, sung by the Cult. Trying to figure out how to play this song off of tabs. All right, and you guys have all told me, these tabs things, you gotta kind of break away from it a little bit because they're close, but they try to be close, but they're not correct. Now, the first set of tabs that I was playing with that song, and then again, you start getting the muscle memory as far as where to put your fingers and everything else, and it's a little bit hard to break especially when you find out the right way to play it. The first set of tabs that I was using with this was basically they're all power chords in this whole song, and I don't know what the chords are, so don't ask me. But basically, my first set of tabs was this. All right, that's the beginning of the Peace Dog song. That's what I was practicing with, and it didn't, listening to the music and playing with the music. It just didn't sound correct. It was close, but didn't sound correct. So I ended up finding a guy that I've been kind of dealing with a little bit, which has been pretty good with tabs on eBay. So I ended up ordering a book basically in digital format, which been a CD basically, and had all the files in PDF form on the disc to where I could sit there and practice off of that. Now I'm uh, looking at his tabs, and I'm kind of practicing now what he had going on on there was basically it was an open E string, all right, and then having setting up for the power, like you would do doing a bar over the two strings, and it was like one open, and then two power chord. All right, still didn't sound right. Something was wrong. Now this guy, I talked to him before a long time ago, on what he was using to make his tabs from, and he told me what it was, and I ended up buying a program a long time ago that basically takes MIDI files and turns them into whatever you want for tabs. It basically breaks down the music, but it has to be turned. The music has to be turned into a MIDI format. And what it does is it takes the music and it'll break up the guitar, the drums, and give you all tabs for it all. A little bit of a pain in the ass because you have to use, I believe it has to be a WAV file in order to turn it into a MIDI file. Well, most of my stuff is all MP3s. So his stuff that this guy's that I bought, it was close, but it still didn't sound right. Plus, when it got to, I believe it was the chorus part of the song where it just went like he had it where there was you strummed a lot more than what the actual song was, so it wasn't right. All right. Now, again, I play with the music, the actual song, so I can kind of hear the difference, and I know where I'm fucking up. Now, on YouTube, I ended up jumping on this guy's website or channel, and it looks like he's a younger guy, and he's playing. He's got a red SG. Don't know if it's Epiphone or Gibson, but he's playing the song. He's got it playing in the background. The background music doesn't sound all that great, but you can hear the guitar. You can see where his strings are. You can see how he's picking it, and that part worked out fucking great. So, again, these tabs are not all that great when you're using them. Watching this guy play or watching somebody else play, it's kind of one of those things where you start learning it. You know it now. You can figure it out. It's a lot easier because you're actually seeing it, not just looking at numbers on tabs. So what he was doing is he was again the power chord, but he was hammering on the low E string as he was strumming. So that sounds like. Now listening to that and then playing the track through the headphones, it's like, holy shit, that's what I've been doing wrong. The whole fucking time I've been practicing this, that's what I've been doing wrong. Well, the bad thing about it is you start making a muscle memory. Your hand starts knowing what to do as you're practicing it on all the times you've been practicing. So that was hard to break. So instead of doing it, the way that this guy was doing it in his video, I kept on doing it, which is kind of cheating. All right, and it's cheating a lot. And it's not the right way. So breaking that habit, it can be done. It's a little difficult, but it can be done. And the muscle memory that you start building and from brain to hand, your hand starts knowing what to do and how to do it. It's a little difficult to break it, but it's part of the learning part of it, I guess. You guys may not notice it because of how much you guys have been playing guitar, the way you've been playing guitar, and but for someone like me, who I still consider myself fucking a beginner guitar player, okay, and these tab things, now I understand and I see what you guys have been talking about. Breaking away from them is going to be a little bit difficult, but as long as you could find a video or something out there to where you can see what the other person is playing and how he's playing it, you can learn off of it, and just by watching. The bad thing about it is some of the camera angles aren't all that great, so you're going to have to really kind of rewind, play to see what's going on and how it's going on. But yeah, I really see now what you guys mean about these tabs, and even the some of these I can't remember. There's a program, something Pro, Tab Pro or something like that online that I was doing a little bit with that as well, and even those are wrong. So the books, the tab books, forget it. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Uh, if you're like me and you're listening to it while you're playing it, it's just something doesn't sound right. Well, that's your tabs. It may not necessarily be you; it's your tabs. But, anyways, yay. So I'm glad to start practicing a little bit. I've been using up most of my time when I was uh, building, the kick guitars and stuff, when I should have been practicing more. And getting back into it, yeah, it's not like riding a bike, especially if you haven't done it in a long time. If you're a professional player, then I could say, yeah, picking it up, playing it a little bit. Maybe there's a few things you kind of lost, but you get it back pretty quick. Being a beginner and then jumping back into it again, it doesn't seem like it's that easy. So you guys take it easy, have a good one, and thanks for watching and listening to me talk.